Hi there, folks. My name is Lauren Taggart, and I am the Director of Sales and Marketing here at ThinScale's Technology. Joining me for what I believe is our third LinkedIn learning session is Giuseppe Stirpe, who is our Head of Support and Engineering here at ThinScale's Technology also. Pep, thanks for joining me again today. I think we should start calling this the Pep Talk series rather than the TED Talk series.
No worries, Laura. You're most welcome. Morning, folks. Good afternoon, depending when you're logging into.
Very good. So, folks, what we're going to talk about today is something that I am super excited about. I know many of our customers and also some of our prospects have been excited to learn about this, and that is geolocation. I know many of you have wanted it for a long time, and it's finally here. The good news as well, and particularly as a salesperson, it pains me sometimes to say this, but it's all included, too, which is always great to add more benefits for our customers and our prospects, that it is already available within either ThinKiosk or Secure Remote Worker. So Pep is going to take today's session and show you how it all works. So Pep, I'm going to hand it over. Everybody just wants their hands on the stuff, so I'll let you show it to them.
Thank you, Lauren. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. So for the purpose of this live video, I decided to use a bring your own device setup, and I just have a VPN installed on my machine. What I'm going to show you guys is my Secure Remote Worker will go through some contextual checks. We will see that I have a VPN connected. I'm coming from a specific geolocation, but there will be rules in place that will stop my machine from connecting to the from connecting to the Secure Remote Worker session if the VPN is connected, or if the geolocation in terms of country code or state is not as I decided to be in the device portal. So if we click now our Secure Remote Worker icon, you will see straight away we have 5 or 6 what we call access policies. Some of them will pass, some of them will fail, and if they fail, there will be a small message outlining why the rule failed. Now I'm retrieving the configuration from our cloud new. I keep saying new at this stage is new old device portal. And as you can see, so I set up this profile with the rule of I need to come from the country code of Ireland, which is IE. The ISP, I need to use Sky. There are so many ISP providers, but just for the purpose of the live demo, I used Sky. As you can see, because I'm connected to a VPN, the rule failed. I have a working hours option where I can only launch Secure Remote Worker between 9 and 5. The download speed has to match or has to be at least 100 megabyte. Upload is 50 megabyte. Jitter and latency cannot be more than, I think, 50 and 35 milliseconds respectively. And the known IP address, it's a little bit tricky, but I'm using this rule just purely to control if the IP address of the machine where our validation tool or Secure Remote Worker was first installed matches the IP address of the Secure Remote Worker that is actually running. What we did in the past, and for some of you, perhaps the validation tool is not as known as the Secure Remote Worker. If a candidate or a company is hiring, they can send home what we call a single click installer. The validation tool will scan the machine for the company that is hiring minimal requirements, and then the person looking for the job can go to the next stage. Let's say my best friend has a faster internet than me. I want to apply for that job. I launch my validation tool. The validation tool will come from a specific IP address. I'm happy. Thank you, my best friend. I go home. I got the job. I'm running the validation tool again. Because obviously the ISP changed, yet the public IP address changed as well. So when I run the Secure Remote Worker, this rule can flag if an applicant changed house, ISP, so there are more to it, but this one is purely to know if the IP address used for the validation tool is the same used for the Secure Remote Worker. Windows compliant, everybody knows about this. We can check if the machine is fully up to date or not. Back to the geo. So my country code IE passed, but if I look at my ISP, we have capability in place to retrieve the name of the ISP I'm connecting to. So I'm only allowing Sky as the ISP name. You can see that I'm not allowed to connect from the ISP we are detecting. In this case, is Black Knight Internet Solution, which is our provider for our virtual machine and vSphere data center. When I'm coming from the VPN rule, because I'm connected to a VPN, you can see that the machine is actually failing. Okay. Yeah. I can go ahead just because I relaxed a little bit the rule, and obviously I'm asking. Yes, I know, Lauren, you want.
Typical salesperson interrupting is what you're going to say now. So I think just a question that often comes up when you and I are discussing this with our customers is often, so what type of rules can we have here? So can we have it that in this particular access policy, we block it and that individual cannot log in if they are outside the state of Florida, for example? And the answer
absolutely
is yes. And I think that's just important as well for the folks on the call as well to understand. And then obviously you have a little bit more relaxed rules too in place.
Yeah, so I see two really good use cases here. There are obviously companies they are hiring, and they are hiring all in the specific state. In the case of, I don't know, I'm going to use Florida just because I love Florida.
Sure.
They don't want to hire people outside Florida. So they want to make sure that the connection or the user machine are coming from the state of Florida. Doesn't matter if they're connecting to a VPN, we can detect it. But if they're connecting to Ohio for some reason, we can stop them. And then there is the quote unquote more relaxed use case. There are companies that are allowing VPN just because they love the fact that the user at home are having an encrypted connection, but they can only connect from the USA as the entirety. So if you go from Florida to Ohio to Washington, it doesn't matter as long as you don't go outside the boundary of USA. Sure. So as soon as you connect to Italy, for instance, and I'm sure people will know my accent, I'm Italian, but if you go in Ireland, that's a flag for them, they will stop. There is a little bit, obviously, a relaxed way of allowing VPNs, but the primary use case that we have seen so far is either you allow VPN as long as it matches your country code or your state, or you don't allow VPN at all.
Yeah. Okay. Also really useful actually for the users as well, because I know for me myself, I use a VPN to connect into American Netflix because it has many other TV shows that I like, right? But I might just forget to switch that off on my laptop, and I'm running it, and it reminds me of shit. Yeah, I need to relax my VPN and switch it off as well so that I can log into work. So even just for those reasons too, it's also useful for users.
That's a sales pitch for you, Lauren. Sell our geolocation to Netflix.
Well, then job done. If we get Netflix, we'll be fine. But they actually use us through some of our BPO partners, would you believe?
Okay, I didn't know that.
NDA.
Every day. Now, for the purpose of this live video, I'm going to connect to, let's say, Canada. Let me find the location, right? So I'm connecting to Canada now. Obviously, the ISP will change. The country code will change. The geolocation as the known IP will change. So now that you can see that I'm connecting to Canada, I will run the secure remote worker again. Straight away, when the first, if you remember, my country code rule was passing, straight away now this rule will fail. The ISP name will also fail. The known IP address, well, in theory, we will see what happens now. This is a live video, so everything can happen. But in theory, all the rules that previously passed will fail. So we're checking the country code now. There we go, straight away. So working hours is still passing because I'm still in the brackets of 9 to 5. The download speed now it's failing because I'm now relying on the ISP of the VPN, right? On the connection. So I'm routing the connection through the VPN. But if we check now, I'm going to let it go. But now if we look at the country code, now it's CA. It's not IE anymore, which I'm blocking. So the secure remote worker is detecting it and will stop the session. If you remember, guys, before the ISP name was Black Knight Enterprise Solution. Now is M2247 Euro per SRL, which I suppose is the tunneling version of the Canada. VPN was still connected back in back on the previous run, it's still connecting now. The download speed now, I can only assume is less than 100 megabytes. Yeah, in fact, it's 12 megabytes. So it's not good enough for obviously the administrator to have this type of users logging in. The upload speed is less than 35 megabytes. In fact, you can see it's 12.58. Jitter and latency, if my memory recall, should be more than 50. There we go. So now I'm having a 60 milliseconds jitter value. And the latency should be more than 45. And I have 237. The non-IP, I have to check on this. This is the beauty of live demos. This one should have failed. Perhaps I inverted the logic in my access policy rule, but I can show you on the after this demo, guys, the way I set up the rule for you in the device portal. And obviously my machine is still up to date. Connecting to a VPN won't impact your Windows updates state. So I can continue, and then I can either close the secure remote worker or continue to the trusted session of the secure session once I click the logout.
Yeah.
For the sake of testing again, I'm going to disconnect, and I can run the secure remote worker again straight away with a blink of an eye. Now all the rules that I were previously failing should pass again, just because I'm coming back from an Irish connectivity again. So we can check on demand straight away. The secure remote worker will pick that up. The network change, the IP, the VPN. Obviously, my VPN is still running in the back because I need a VPN to launch my VM infrastructure anyway. So that's why it's picking up. But now the ISP should be back to Black Knight. There we go. Now, working hours is still the same. Download and upload speed, jitter and latency are super good. Again, I'm going to check the non-IP address once I show you the access policy, guys. And once I finish my Windows updates, this one should pass again.
Excellent.
Before we move to the device portal, Lauren, do you have any questions?
I think useful just for everybody also to know that we obviously don't have to run all of those access policy. It's very customizable, and we can also use PowerShell scripting as well if there's something that you don't see. And I'm sure, Pep, you're probably going to demo and probably tell any stuff that you're about to show us anyway.
Indeed, yeah. My working hours are part of what we call PowerShell scripting. So can you see? I'm assuming you can see my device portal, guys. So from a configuration point of view, I have my GeoDemo security profile. Everything is controlled and managed by the access policy. We have done a previous live video of the device portal overview with the secure remote worker and the ThinKiosk from a rule point of view. So to show the country code, we just use internal macros. So I can do %geo country code that will display the country code of the machine, or where the machine is connected, sorry. ISP is the same. So as you can see, my geo country code cannot be different than IE. Mm-hmm. My ISP cannot be different. Sorry, I said Sky, but in reality it's Liberty Global. My VPN needs, I can continue if obviously the VPN is connected. My working hours, and this one is beautiful. Obviously, I'm a nerd. So this PowerShell script will check the server. I have a server specifying the script, and you can say you can only allow secure remote worker to continue the execution between none and 17. You can change this on the way you want. We have a KB explaining this, so happy for you guys to simply copy and paste this PowerShell and use it internally. You can see that obviously my download speed cannot be less than 100 megabytes. Upload is 35. Jitter is more than 50. It's a little bit of reverse. The greater the jitter and the latency, the slower the connection is, while in reality the download speed is the less the number, the slowest the network is. Here we go. So I made a mistake on the logic. This one, so if a PHA is not true. So I want to check if the machine changes all the time. And then obviously the Windows compliance. So if I had KB to be installed, by using the macros, patches percentage, if the machine needed an update, you would see the name of the patches required to be installed prior launching the secure remote worker session. Yeah. On the device itself, you can see this one is my machine. straight away from the get-go, there is a red icon saying we have detected the VPN. So visually, the administrator can see straight away how many machines are used. Obviously, this one is a brand new tenant, guys. There is only one machine just for the demos. But if I go inside the machine itself, I can come here and say, okay, this is the last time I run the validation, the secure remote worker. You can see I'm coming from Ireland, and obviously my location is okay. If we go though through the access policy result in the last hour, I'm not gonna run the first one because it's the working one. I think it's the second one. The geolocation will show Canada. And these are all the information that are coming from our new geolocation API that we have for the 8.4 version of the secure remote worker and the device portal. So if you remember, I had M24/7 as the ISP. The region is Quebec, the city is Montreal. Not many people will use latitude and longitude, but the data is there if you want to go there. And as you can see, my IP address, now it's a Canadian IP address, and the country code is.
Super. That's great. And I think it's really useful, just even from when something feels well, to have the report there is always very useful in case there's something brought up with HR as well, and those records can obviously be shared. And even we were talking to a customer only yesterday, Pep, as well, even that inventory report, having that and how important it is, too, as well as download, upload speed, all that stuff is really, really important, particularly whenever you're hiring remotely or you're managing devices remotely too, particularly those as well that aren't corporate owned machines.
Of course. Yeah, one piece I want to mention, and I don't have it enabled in this tenant. So the geolocation is a check at that moment in time. So we run the secure remote worker, we check the speed, the download, upload, jitter, latency, but that is in those 20 seconds or 30 second scan. If you want to have a more granular view of everything that is happening on the machine in terms of CPU, memory, a constant download and upload speed, a constant speed test, then you will need the device analytics functionality. Perhaps could be the next video or the next live video session. The next pep talk is although very, very useful, the geolocation obviously are a moment in time, on demand, one go, in and out. Yes, you're passing, you're allowed inside the secure remote version. If you're failing, you need to fix either your internet or you need to speak, obviously, with the administrator. But if you want to have an historical view of what happened over 2 weeks or over 3 weeks, why Lauren called support that this network was down, and then 2 days later, the network was working again. You need the device analytics piece.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think though the geolocation piece as well, in particular, came up a lot even when speaking with HR teams, not just IT teams, because legislation and contract law as well, that an employee has to be hired, and particularly in the United States in a certain state, because tax legislation, all those different things changes once you go outside certain states as well. So all those things are really important and useful for us to have on the reporting dash as well. Cool. Anything else you want to leave the folks? If I was to say to you, Pep, if you didn't have 20 minutes of your time and you just wanted to leave the folks with the blurb or 1 minute, and you were an IT person that you are, what would be the key takeaway from today's session?
Use the geolocation from ThinScale's. It's very, very useful. I have to be biased, right? No, joke aside, this has been one of the most requested functionality from our existing client base. Yeah. We had a lot of, obviously, discussion internally in terms of infrastructure, and this one is obviously applicable even for on-prem customers. This is not just for cloud customer. Correct. Test it out, get in touch with your CAM. We need to enable something in the backend. We will need to provide you with what we call a geolocation key if you want to test it out. Yeah. As you said, Lauren, it's free. I don't think, why not use something that is free and it's cool and it's useful. So yeah, give it a try, guys. Send me an email directly. A lot of you guys know me. I hope so by now. If you don't have my email address, ask Lauren or keep in touch with your camps, and I would be happy to have a more detailed demo. I know we have 20 minutes, and I try to be as fast as possible, try to show you everything. But if you want to have a more detailed demo or call, just let me know, and I'd be happy to have it.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Pep, as always. It was really useful, and I'm sure the folks learned a lot there on the call too. So super useful. And as Pep said, if you're already a customer of ours, it's readily available. And if you're in discussions with any of my sales reps as well, this is also included as part of SRW and TK that you might be looking at too. So thanks a million for that, Pep. And I guess we already have our next Pep talk on the road on device analytics. So until next time, folks, thank you for listening today, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys. Thank you, Lauren. See you later. Bye-bye.